So the tenses differ according to the report types. If you are going to write a report to make a suggestion, then what tense should you use? Hi everybody, hi everyone, welcome back to my show Tips and Tricks with Teacher Kiran. Okay, right, quite a number of people have been messaging and texting and sending me messages telling me, Teacher, please share something on report writing. Yes, that's what I'm going to share today, something on report writing which comes under part 3 essay. Okay, now for report writing, it's different compared to article. In part 3, you actually have 4 kinds of formatted writing that can be tested, which are articles, report, review, or a story. 3 will be asked and you choose 1 to write. Okay, so for last year's SPM, there was an article, there was a review, and there was a story. So some students feel like maybe this year a report will be coming up. I don't know, maybe not. Okay, anyway, stay tuned. You should know the tips on how to write a good report. Okay, a report is different compared to an article. In my previous video, I shared on article, which is a semi-formal tone of a piece of writing, semi-formal piece of writing. This one is very formal. The tone is very formal and the structures are mostly passive. And please avoid using flowery phrases, idioms, describing the weather and all that. No, it's very straight to the point. Okay, structures are straight to the point, yes, and the details are really specific. Okay, and paragraphs, you can have paragraphs with section headings or subheadings, but this is optional. If you look at your textbook, there is a unit which is unit 8. They will teach you how to write a report, and if you see, they have subheadings for every paragraph. You can write that, okay, but if you don't want to have the subheadings, it's fine, it's okay, right? We don't cut marks for format. We look at the tone. The tone must be very formal, not formal but very formal. Okay, remember students. And also, this is another very important reminder. Okay, never use the first person's point of view in a report. What is the meaning of the first person point of view? That means you are using I, we, our, my, myself, ourselves. You can't use that because they sound very informal. Okay, in fact, you are required to use the third person point of view, which is they, them, themselves. Okay, if you mention the upper secondary pupils and then the following sentences you change to they did this, they did that, they are, them. Okay, and there are many types of reports. For example, you have a report to make a suggestion, that's in your textbook, unit 8. Okay, you have a report to complain about something. You write a report on an event or a trip that you have gone for. Okay, so the tenses differ according to the report types. If you are going to write a report to make a suggestion, then what tense should you use? Future tense, because you are making a suggestion for something, a project or a magazine or something. Okay, so future tense. If you want to complain about something, you want to make a report on a complaint. For example, you're not happy with the school canteen, or you're not happy with the library, or you're not happy with something, then you write in present tense because the problem is still there. Okay, and then if you want to give an example of something that happened, because you need to complain about something, so you want to give an example of an incident that happened, then that is in the past tense. Okay, now if you want to write a report on an event or a trip, now that should be in the past because the trip is over, the event is over. Okay, right, I hope I'm clear. So this is one sample sentence, sample question. Now, the type of report is to report on an event or an activity. Okay, the question is, as secretary of the prefects club, you are required to write a report on the school canteen day. Your report should include the details of the event, the activities organized, and was it a success. So, you need to have all this as to get your content marks. Okay, details, there is an S there, so it should be more than one. Okay, activities, there should be more than one. Okay, and was it a success? And of course, add the why, okay, right. Let's do the planning. Okay, so this is a sample layout, Who are you writing this report to? If you look back at the question just now, you are the secretary of the prefects club. You are required to write a report, but it's not mentioned to whom. If it's not mentioned to whom, the best person is to the principal. You write to the principal or the headmaster. Okay, right. So, to the principal of, and then SMK something, full school name. Okay, if you don't wish to write your own school name, it's fine. You can write another name. You can put in your own, make up your own school. Okay, and then from who? So, you are the secretary. So, you can write your name and the secretary of the prefects club, and the subject you can get from the question, which is the school canteen day. Okay, then you introduce, the first paragraph is your introduction. What is the report about? So, you shouldn't write so long. Introduction is very short. Okay, then paragraph 2, paragraph 3 and paragraph 4, and finally the conclusion. What's PEE? You state your point, P or T, topic sentence, then you have your elaboration and you have your some examples. Remember, teacher told you specific details needed. Remember this. Okay, so now let's go to the question requirement, the content. Okay, details of the event. So, you can add in where, which school, when was it, who were involved. Maybe you can also write the aim of the school canteen event, the date, school canteen day. Okay, and the next content point, what were the activities? So, share the activities. Okay, and then was it a success? How did the event go overall? Okay, so read the question well, highlight the content points and plan before you write. Very important, planning. Okay, suggested time for part 3, 40 minutes. Okay, let's go to the planning. Okay, the first content point, details of the event. When was it? So, always provide a full date. Don't say it was held last Saturday morning. It's not clear. Okay, so it should be full date and time, 15 August 2022. If you want to add a day, which was a Saturday, which was a Friday, yes, good, better. Okay, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Where was it? It was held in SMK Permata Ipoh Perak. Okay, maybe you can also explain which part of the school, which parts were used, okay, which areas. So, the canteen, the field, the hall, a few classrooms were used for something, okay, and who were involved, the pupils, all the pupils, or you can say all the students, teachers and some parents. School canteen day is fun, right? I'm sure you have experienced this. So, it's good. It's very related to you. Try to give good ideas, interesting ideas, all right? So, here are some examples of activities that can be held during canteen day. You can have food stalls selling all kinds of food. You can have a football game. You can have obstacle race. You can have anything, fun games. You can have talent time, musical, people playing musical instruments, guitar, flute, okay. And what's the picture at the bottom there? They're all dressed up in something. Yeah, it may be a fancy dress competition or a cosplay competition, okay. So, this again maturity comes in. For part 3, we look at maturity of the question, the idea, the topic, okay, right. So, here are some ideas that you can have, the activities that you can have for content point number 2, activities. So if you can say there were many food stalls selling a myriad of delicious cuisines. Cuisines means food, okay, ranging from Western to Oriental and Asian dishes. You don't have to mention nasi lemak, noodles, laksa, you don't mention that. But you mention as a whole what kind of dishes. Western, Oriental, Japanese, Indian food, Malay food, okay, right. And then you can also say something about indoor activities where they were held in the classrooms. Some of the activities were dart throwing competition, chess, answering of quizzes, games, indoor games, movie projections perhaps. Okay, who were in charge of the movie? Who was in charge of the movie projection? Maybe you mentioned by the upper 6 students or upper secondary students. Okay, there was a haunted house. You know, haunted house is fun. Students, children like that. Even teachers. Okay, and then you can also mention something on outdoor games where people there was a football competition. You know, between teachers and students. Okay, it's fun, right? Okay, there was an obstacle race, maybe a demo on a rocket, okay, and then there was a lucky draw. There was also a song request booth where you can request for songs, okay. Maybe there was a talent time show in the school hall where students showed their talents in singing, dancing, telling jokes, okay. There are a lot of ideas for canteen day. You choose and you write. But remember, the tone should be formal. Okay, the last content point, was it a success and why? So if you say yes, it was a success, why? There was great participation by all the students. In fact, even the teachers had a good time. Okay, but remember, don't use flowery languages. Don't use flowery language. Your description must be very precise. Okay, very straight to the point. A day filled with activities out of the classroom, started and ended on time, okay. So, it started exactly at 8 after the opening speech by the principal and it ended at sharp 1 p.m. for example, okay. So, there was also a clean-up project done, so the school was spick and span, the school was clean, okay. There was no rubbish anywhere, okay. And it also promoted good bonding between pupils and teachers or students and teachers. And you can also express your hope to have such an event annually, that means every year. So, this is for point number 3, okay. So, reminder when you write a report of any essays in part 3, remember the questions must be read well, highlight, do planning, ideas must be very explicit and well elaborated. Show maturity in your idea for part 3 essay. Maturity is very important. Your knowledge must be good on the topic. For example, here is on content, the topic is on canteen day, yeah, and on canteen day. And then the format must be, the tone must be very formal, okay. What if you forgot to write to and from and all? It's fine, it's okay, but we look at it overall. We look at the format, okay. Some students will write to and the subject, and then at the end they write reported by. Yeah, you can do that. Sure, no problem. Okay, the language must be effectively used and there should be paragraphs with cohesive devices, a variety. Okay, so do a quick checklist. Is the task requirement fulfilled? This comes under content. Did you use appropriate style? Okay, were there elaborations? Were there examples? Is the report well organized? Is it organized using paragraphs, linkers, cohesive devices, suitable vocabulary? Okay, the vocabulary here for report is more on the verbs, not the adjectives. It's on the verbs, okay, or the nouns, right? So other structures vary. This comes under language. Okay. So I hope I've helped you enough. So please do more reading so that you can improve on your writing. So with that, I wish you all the best and good luck for your SPM. And thank you. Do subscribe to SSTP Kedah and bye.